What's up guys, James here, how are you doing? So this video is going to be a little message for Matt Dillahunty. At the end of this video I've also got a bit of audio from the Mad Shangi. He wanted to be involved in this video as well for some reason, so I've got an audio clip of his thoughts at the end of this. He was also quite recently flagged, so please check out his channel. If you like what you see, then feel free to subscribe. Okay, so for the people who aren't aware, Matt recently got banned from the Atheism Plus forums, despite being one of their biggest supporters, probably their most well-known supporter. Well, to be strictly accurate, his second anonymous account got banned, and they do actually have a policy against this, so they are within their own rules there in a way, but it's what he got banned for, which is the treatment of him up until that point, which is the real problem. So basically, you can read it all yourself. I'll leave links to it down below, and I'll put a couple of screenshots up as well. He was criticising the A+ forums, and they didn't like it. They basically mocked and ridiculed him, and they couldn't deal with any dissenting opinion whatsoever. And Matt posted this anonymously, with another account, to try to demonstrate to the people who criticise Atheism Plus that yes, the forums can deal with dissenting opinions. Now, the reason he did it anonymously is because he wanted to prove that they treat people as equal and don't just suck up to big names. And he proved himself. Unfortunately, he showed himself to be wrong. So, yeah, my thoughts on Atheism Plus, considering I haven't made a whole video about this before. In theory, I have nothing against a forum being for atheists who believe in social justice and believe in values such as trans acceptance and racial and sexual equality and all of those kind of good things. I think nearly all of the atheists I know, especially on YouTube, would certainly agree with those values. That is not where I see the problem lying. The problem is in their divisiveness. They're not for gender, they're not for gender equality. They specifically reference feminism, and that is immediately makes it divisive. Now, I don't hate all feminists, even as an MRA. Hell, I'm even willing to work with feminists on certain issues. Rebecca Watson actually made a good video a couple of years ago, where she was talking about feminists and atheists working on the same page when it comes to things such as the witch burnings in Africa, and gave a few other examples of oppression of women by religion in the third world. And I thought, yeah, I think we could work together on those kind of issues for the most part. But I am very sceptical when feminism tries to tie itself to other movements, because this is the kind of shit which nearly always happens. Why feminism and not gender equality? Why not be open to MRAs who also stand for gender equality? They downplay men's issues and pat each other on the back for tearing down MRA posters and say they don't deserve the freedom of speech. The reason I think they actually do this is because quite often you hear the claim that feminism is about gender equality. Now, this doesn't in itself, I disagree with that statement, but I don't have a problem if that's what they truly believe, and they actually act as if they believe in gender equality. But there are conclusions which can be drawn from that, which I've seen multiple times, which I do have a problem with. First one being, feminism is about gender equality, therefore the MRM isn't needed. And I think it's that attitude which leads lots of them to believe that the MRAs are just misogynist. Well, there's no real reason for the MRM to be there. Feminism deals with gender equality already, so therefore all MRAs must be misogynists. And then there's also the claim that feminism is about gender equality, so anyone who doesn't label as a feminist doesn't believe in gender equality. And I haven't heard this many times on YouTube, but I have heard this quite a few times in real life when I've told people that I myself don't label as a feminist. Now, A+ has taken this to a new level. It's not just that if you don't take the feminist label and you don't believe in gender equality, it's that if you don't take the A+ label, then you don't believe in trans acceptance, you don't believe in racial or sexual equality, and if you disagree with anything we say, you are wrong, you're evil, you're the enemy, you must be a troll. They are incredibly divisive. They can't deal with criticism, as you've now found out. Somehow, regular atheism just isn't friendly to women. It's full of sexist potential rapists, despite women actually being statistically overrepresented in atheist meetups compared with the general population. And despite there being virtually no instance of sexual harassment, and the couple that there are have been both by men towards women, by women towards men, by women towards other women. I think the cases where women have been the sexual harassers have actually outnumbered the times when men have been sexually harassed, from what I've managed to find so far. But it's still statistically negligible, and no real severe incidents which have been really recorded there. Part of their indoctrination seems to be to treat any dissenting opinion as trolling, which must be silenced or ridiculed. And I'll leave a link to, I can't remember if it was at the Amazing Meetup or the Skepchick conference, but they did a whole hour-long talk about trolling, and listening to it from a skeptical perspective, it seemed that they were basically trying to say that if anyone has a dissenting opinion, they should be just automatically treated as trolls. And it's because of people like this that you've got Timothy Keller in The Reason for God saying that skepticism is inconsistent and isn't skeptical about its own skepticism. These people believe that there's biologically, there's no psychological differences between the sexes whatsoever. Every single study which shows otherwise is simply flawed. It doesn't matter that there's differences between. It doesn't matter that there's psychological differences between men who have high testosterone and low testosterone. Somehow, when it comes to women who have a far greater difference between them and men than men have between each other. Somehow that's completely irrelevant when it comes to women. It doesn't matter that the difference between men and women is comparable to the difference between humans and chimpanzees on the genetic level. Somehow there's been this huge convergent evolution, which means that there's no discernible psychological differences between the populations of men and women whatsoever. All the studies which show otherwise are just completely flawed. Men and women are exactly the same, but somehow women have managed to be oppressed by men in all cultures across all of human history. They also say the male brain is a female brain which has been damaged by testosterone, and the Y chromosome is defective. Any examples where men are treated badly by society are either flawed studies or because patriarchy also harms men too, and because it's self-inflicted, we should ignore it, unless it also harms women in the process. But when women's problems are self-inflicted, we shouldn't ignore it because this has been conditioned into them by the patriarchy. In other words, men and women are exactly the same, So anytime we don't see exactly 50% representation, that's due to sexism. But when it doesn't suit them, then we are different. Men are defective, and men are fundamentally evil. This is completely inconsistent religious bullshit. These people don't stand for gender equality. Well, I hope you can see this now. They are a female supremacist cult who think that if you say anything bad about them, you deserve to be ridiculed, blocked, silenced, or DMCA'd, or have petitions made against you to try and remove you from employment. Now, I'm going to link you to Rick Ross. He's one of the world's leading experts on cults. I'm going to read a few of the warning signs of the cults and I hope you can see where Atheism Plus and all that lot kind of matches these. Absolute authoritarianism without meaningful accountability. No tolerance of questions or critical inquiry. Unreasonable fear of the outside world, such as impending catastrophe, evil conspiracies, or persecutions. The group leader is always right. The group leader is the exclusive means of knowing truth or receiving validation. No other process of discovery is really acceptable or credible. Individual identity, the group, the leader, and or God as indistinctive and separate categories of existence become increasingly blurred. Instead, the follower's mind and these identities become substantially and increasingly fused as the person's involvement with the group leader continues and deepens. Whenever the group or leader is criticised or questioned, it's characterised as persecution. Hypersensitivity towards the group/leader agenda, which seems to supersede any personal goal or individual interests. A dramatic loss of spontaneity and sense of humour. These are just a few of the ideas which are being pushed by people within Atheism Plus, Free Thought blogs, and Skepchick, which, for all intensive purposes, can be considered as one in the same. They are a cancer on the skeptical movement and deserve just as much ridicule as any other fundamentalist group. Thanks for watching, guys. Comment, rate, subscribe, and I'll leave you with a few words by the Matt Dillahunty.
Hello there, folks. It's the Matt Shangi here, and this is for my friend, yes I am, James, who has made me aware of a little minor controversy involving the Atheism Plus message board. Matt Dillahunty was kicked out of the Atheism Plus group for protesting his declined post. See, his post was declined as off-topic, so he posts in another section asking if the moderator could post the content there so he could post it in the right location. And then he gets responded with, "We don't have the ability to recover the contents of a declined post. You can post it again in this forum, or just put a shorter version on the Are the Moderators Capricious and Biased thread." And then he writes, "Are you serious? I spent time writing that and it's just gone? How can we verify that it was off topic? Why didn't they approve it and move it?" And then Llewellyn, the moderator, writes, "I felt the post was off topic and inflammatory and nitpicking besides. Also a bit heavy on the teal deer. Brevity is the soul of wit and also of clarity." And right there, I'd have to side with Matt Dillahunty. That's fucking bullshit. You know, he puts all this time and effort into a post, and then it gets declined because one person felt that it was off topic and inflammatory and nitpicking besides. See, I thought the whole point of Atheism Plus was that these fucking assholes felt that they were being censored that they didn't have a voice in mainstream atheism, that they felt the mainstream atheists excluded their kind. And here these nitwits are, they're alienating the one of their biggest supporters, and they're censoring people. So this is fucking retarded. But it gets even better here. Later, he because he's posting as curious, he says that he outs himself. He's like, hey, this is Matt Dillahunty there. And then they start accusing him of being a sock puppet or a fake. And then he goes, no, check out my Twitter. And then he posts on his Twitter, yes, this is indeed me. I'm curious. I'm the guy that's posting on your message board. And they're like, you know, and they still don't get it. Like, it's that's not good enough for them. It's like, how fucking stupid are these people? First, it starts out as a case of censorship, you know, where they really show their true colors. And then they show themselves to be so fucking mentally retarded that they can't tell when, especially who their own fucking members are. Especially when he goes on his Twitter and goes, "Yeah, it's me. I'm Matt Dillahunty," and they're like, "No, you're not." How fucking stupid are these people? So, you know, I have to thank, yes, I am, James, for bringing this to my attention, because that is that is pretty jaw-dropping, if you ask me. The whole censorship thing alone really irked me. You know, like, why would anybody want to join their stupid little fucking forum when one person decides what's off-topic or on-topic? That is completely fucking retarded.